Yo, what's up, sports bettors? I got 9 player props. We don't have NBA on Saturday, but I have some early picks for Sunday, Game 7 of 76er Celtics. So we're going to go through Underdog Fantasy and ParlayPlay. So ParlayPlay is a new platform, relatively new sports book that I signed up for, just a few months ago, and I've been able to have pretty good success so far on this platform. I'm up $2,216. So anyways, let's just go ahead. Let's get into some of my picks. So my first play is right here, right? And it's from the sportsbook screen on OddsJam. So the way this tool works is it kind of just gives you a grid layout for the entire betting market. Right? So you want to look at NHL player shots on goal. Here you can see every sports book, right? Every sports book you want to look at and where they're setting the line. And the player I found value on is right here, Jaden Schwartz, right? So I'll zoom in a bit, and what you're going to notice is Underdog Fantasy, right? If we go over to Underdog, they have Jaden Schwartz's line at 2.5 shots on goal. So does PrizePicks. So do all the sports books. Right? So every single data point in the market, every single sports book posting odds, everybody except for ParlayPlay has his line at 2.5 shots on goal. ParlayPlay, they have their line at 2. Right? So this is just rational, data-driven sports betting. We want to take Schwartz's over 2 shots on goal on ParlayPlay, right? They're too low relative to every other data point. We literally have dozens of data points telling us this line should be set at 2.5. ParlayPlay's at 2. They're too low, so we want to take the over. So that's the first player prop that I went with on ParlayPlay. So Jaden Schwartz, over 2 shots on goal. It doesn't get much clearer than this, right? Really clear discrepancy. The other fantasy sites, PrizePicks, Underdog, they have Schwartz's line at 2.5. All the books have his line at 2.5. So we want to take the over 2. So that's the first pick I went with. And again, in these videos, I'm just trying to show you where I'm finding value, how I'm making money on these platforms, but I also try to keep them educational, right? I want to explain to you how these platforms work. So what you're going to notice about ParlayPlay, so about this platform called ParlayPlay, is it's a fixed payout platform. So what I mean by that is it doesn't matter, right? If you take Arena's over or under 8.5 fantasy points, you're always getting the same payout. Right? So any 6 picks you select, any 6-pick entry you create, this is the payout you're getting, right? You go 6 for 6, you get a 25x payout, 5 for 6, 2.5x, 4 for 6, you get a 0.5x payout. So if you go through the math behind ParlayPlay, which I think is really important for every sports bettor to understand, is what you're going to see is to be profitable on this platform, you have to win, and I'll include this spreadsheet in the description so you can kind of play around with the numbers. But to be profitable on this platform, you have to win at least 53.22% of your picks. So just like Arena over or under 8.5 fantasy points, if you can win your picks 53.22% of the time, ideally like 55%, 56%, you're going to be profitable. Right? So if you think about it, the way that ParlayPlay makes money is they know most people, most sports bettors, they don't understand data, they don't have an advantage, right? And if you have no advantage, you have no edge, you're going to win 50% of your picks, you're going to lose 50%, right? Arena, he's always going over 8.5 or under 8.5 fantasy points. So if you have no advantage, you're going to win 50% of your over-unders, you're going to lose 50% of your over-unders. But to be profitable on ParlayPlay, you have to win at least 53.22% of your picks, right? So you got to increase your win rate from 50%, which is no advantage, to winning 54% of your picks, 55% of your picks. So typically the tool I start out on, and I find a lot of profitable bets on ParlayPlay on, is called the positive EV tool. So on OddsJam, you just go to the positive EV tool right here, and there's, some tutorial videos if you want to learn more about it. But essentially, right, we know that ParlayPlay, this is a platform where they're not changing our payout based on us selecting over versus under, right? It doesn't matter what 6 picks you select. You could take all overs, all unders, your payout's never gonna change. Right? So to find picks winning over 53.22% of the time, you turn to the sports books, right? So any of these plays in, green and that are in bold, so Shane McClanahan under 6.5 strikeouts on ParlayPlay, this is a profitable bet to go with. And this tool works for sports books as well. It just points out value in the market. So Fliff, I'm currently in California, and Fliff is a sports book that's available in California, and OddsJam is recommending this play because we're getting really clear value in the Pirates-Orioles game on the under 7 runs. Right? Every sportsbook is pricing this around plus 174, and we're getting plus 195 on Fliff. So pretty clear value. But back to ParlayPlay, right? This is a fixed payout platform. They're not changing our payout based on us selecting over versus under. All we got to do is win 53.22% of our picks to be profitable. So what you want to do is you want to find plays like this, right? Why? Well, look at the sports books. All of the sports books, right? They're all data points. Every sports book, if you learn anything from these videos as a sharp sports bettor, because all these books, they all have slightly different models, they all want to set lines independently, they're all data points on where the line should be set, right? And you can open up a little line movement history chart if you want to see that as well by just clicking on an odd. But what you're going to notice is for McClanahan, right? All of the sports books have his under heavily favored. Right? FanDuel has his under at minus 136, Caesars minus 135, DraftKings minus 130, right? So all these books have slightly different odds. You're never going to get a perfect answer as to what exactly should the odds be, right? But Pinnacle, sharpest sports book in the world, they have the under as a pretty big favorite, minus 157. So all these sports books, right? They're all data points, and they're all telling us the same thing, that Shane McClanahan, he's a lot more likely to go under as opposed to over. Right? The under is the favored outcome. So you can kind of think about this. This should make sense, but like if you go to the NBA, for example, and you look at, unsurprisingly, in Game 7, the Celtics are big favorites, right? The sportsbooks have them heavily favored. The Celtics are more likely to win the game. They're a higher seed, right? They were expected to win the series. They're at home. It makes sense. The market is pricing the Celtics as pretty big favorites. So it's no different here. Right? All of the sports books, and no offense, you're not smarter than the market. You have numerous sports books. I'm not smarter than the market. Nobody is. It's really like you have dozens of data points all telling you the same thing. All these sports books, Tipico, every single sports book has McClanahan's under 6.5 strikeouts heavily favored. So we know the under is the play with the edge, right? So we know if we're selecting overs versus unders, this is a fixed payout platform. They don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. So obviously we want to go with the under for McClanahan, right? We'd prefer to go with the under. And essentially, what you can do is you can also use this little fantasy optimizer. So what this tool does is it just actually quantifies the win probability for your bet based on sportsbook odds, right? So for McClanahan, we know all the books have his under favored, so we know the under is more likely. And what this fantasy optimizer just tells you is, hey, this player prop is winning 53.79% of the time. So that's above 53.22%. So it's going to be profitable in a ParlayPlay entry, right? That's basically all you're looking for. Player props winning over 53.22% of the time. ParlayPlay is a simple platform, right? They don't change your payouts based on you selecting overs versus unders. All you have to do to win on this platform, most people can't do it, but is find picks winning at least 53.22% of the time. And on the fantasy screen, those picks are just highlighted in green, right? So you don't want to touch the plays in red, right? You want to take all these picks in green because they're all winning over 53.22% of the time, right? And sometimes, I've explained this before, but there's a reason that you want to have as many sportsbook accounts as possible is sometimes there's a lot of value on PrizePicks. So here you can see PrizePicks, the fantasy optimizer. Sometimes there's more value on ParlayPlay, right? So here there's 5 green plays on ParlayPlay. There's 5 picks winning over 53.22% of the time. So I included these all in my ParlayPlay entry. And again, everything on OddsJam is just based in data. There's no BS, nothing like that. So for Shane, right? Literally every data point, every sportsbook posting odds, the market is telling us the average price on McClanahan's under is minus 131. The under's the favorite outcome. The under's over 50% to occur. And all this fantasy screen does is it actually just quantifies the exact win probability for your bet. So for Shane McClanahan, it's 53.79%. So it's a profitable player prop to go with on ParlayPlay. So my 6 picks that I went with on ParlayPlay are right here. I mean, literally just grabbed the 5 top ones from the fantasy screen. So I'm on McClanahan under 6.5 Ks, Contreras, which you can also see on the positive EV tool. So take a look. All the sports books have his under heavily favored. We're just following the data as sharp sports bettors. All the sports books are telling us his under's a lot more likely than his over. So that's a great player prop to go with in your ParlayPlay entry. Nestor Cortez over 4.5 strikeouts. You'll see that right here. And again, I'll include my email in the description as well as this spreadsheet if you want to look through the math, kind of see how everything works. But you can reach out to me anytime if you have questions about sharp sports betting, whether you're betting on ParlayPlay or Fliff. So Fliff is a sports book I signed up for recently. Tons of profitable bets on Fliff. Definitely recommend getting it. But anyways, Nestor Cortez over 4.5 strikeouts, right? For Cortez, again, ParlayPlay, this is a platform. They don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. So you just want to find spots where sportsbooks have one side of the market heavily favored. And for Cortez, his over's heavily favored. Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, they have his over juiced all the way to minus 160. They have his over as a pretty big favorite, right? Minus 160 odds. Minus 200 means 2-1 betting favorite, 2/3 to win. So it's not like this is all the way up at minus 200, but you can see every sportsbook has his over heavily favored. His over is more likely than his under. This is a great player prop to go with on ParlayPlay. So Cortez over 4.5 Ks, Domi under 2 shots on goal, Schwartz over 2 shots on goal. So both of these plays also from the fantasy screen. And then my final pick is Riley Green under 8.5 fantasy points, right? So 6 picks on ParlayPlay, all based in data, all sharp, right? I'm just showing you guys in these videos what I'm putting my own money on. And then on Underdog Fantasy, they have a little promo. They're bringing James Harden down to 0.5 points, right? So that's a promo. So if you look up James Harden, right, his regular points line is 20.5 points. But for this promo, they're bringing him down to 0.5 points. So this is another reason to have multiple sports books, these super profitable promos. Underdog Fantasy, this is a free win, right? Harden is always going to go over half of a point, right? If he has 1+ point, this bet's going to win. It's basically free money. So I went with Harden over half of a point, and then I took Embiid under 34 points and assists and Tatum under 35 points and assists. So 9 sharp player props. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Don't hesitate to reach out with questions, and let's make some money, guys.